Hey guys, welcome back to another pick a card reading. In this one, we are going to be looking at what your friends think of you. So, do they like you? What do they think of you as a friend and in general? What are their thoughts? We have 4 piles to choose from. Pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. Feel free to choose your pile based off of the crystal or just the pile itself. And if you need some time to meditate, feel free to pause this video to choose which one you feel the most drawn to. So, without further ado, we will get started. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will start with pile 1. Hey Pile 1, welcome to your reading for all of you who chose the Pyrite crystal. Let's see what your friends think of you. Are you a good friend? What kind of thoughts do they think of you? Starting off with your tarot, we have the King of Cups, the 10 of Swords, 7 of Wands, the 6 of Swords, as well as the Magician. So we have some really pointed energies right off of the bat in this spread. The first impression or feeling that I got was that you are an extreme person or your friends tend to think of you as very bold and making strong choices or strong actions. Also that you're a risk taker or you're someone who enjoys taking risks even if you don't do so that often. They see you as very strong-willed, courageous, and also protective too. We have some strong fire, also some water as well, this King of Cups. But you're someone who can take a lot. You see how in this image he's carrying this big jug over his shoulder. It's almost as if you guys can carry the weight of the world on your shoulders or take on a lot and still be very resilient and persevering. So that's definitely a trait that your friends pick up on and that stands out, is that determination. It might even border on stubbornness as well. Maybe you're not the kind of person who they would want to get into an argument with, but they can definitely appreciate your drive and willpower. I think power is a strong word though. You are definitely a powerful person, especially energetically. Seeing that we have the Magician, that makes me think immediately that you're very resourceful. You're good at working with nature and with other people as opposed to by yourself, although you might be very independent as well. You could also be very talented too. Sometimes with the Magician, there's a very unique quality. There's something that you can do that no one else can, because it seems like magic when you do it. So you could have a sort of magical quality where the things that you create or the friendships that you make, you pour in a level or a certain amount of magic. But so far, I would say that you have a very strong energy. That's how it's coming across. Very extreme, almost to that point, and fiercely individualistic, but also courageous too. Definitely someone who they can count on to stand up for what they believe or even to defend them as well. I think many of your friends would look to you for protection or even guidance. Okay. So let's get into these oracle cards. Okay, so we have, hold up. Okay, Gibbous Moon says you're very close to achieving your goal. Your friends might view you always on the brink of success, or they can see it's easy to them. It's very clear that you're close to achieving your goals. You are definitely on track to getting your desires, and also that your path is pretty clear cut, or that you have a very good, strong mind about what you're going after, okay? But this moon, I'm definitely feeling like your friends feel as though you're on the verge of getting what you want or achieving your dreams. And then we have New Moon in Aries. It's time to take action. As well as New Moon in Scorpio. Work through your fears. Okay, this is interesting. I think your friends have picked up on you doing a lot of inner work or having to work past fears or limitations in your life. Because you come across as a very strong character, but I think that has been built through trial and error and you encountering resistance or opposition. So this could also have to do with just inner challenges. You know, I think that is something that comes through so strongly with you, is just how strong you are, especially internally, how much you can withstand and carry on your shoulders. So yeah, this could also be shadow work. Just you've had to work on yourself a lot, and your friends definitely notice that and really respect you for it. And then this new moon in Aries, I think it's just very clear that you're a person of action, okay? But more so quiet or consistent action. I'm not getting that, because even if you like taking risks, or you're someone who expresses themselves very boldly in their actions or the choices that they make, you're not rash, or you don't go about it in a very brash or loud way. But you're definitely a person where their actions speak louder than their words. You're very headstrong and resilient. That's the thing. Seeing that we have this Ten of Swords being followed by the Seven of Cups, it's almost as if whenever you do face life-threatening challenges or things closing in on you, you come out of this reborn and even more strong with the Seven of Wands. And I think you've undergone quite a wide variety of challenges, actually. But whenever you do, again, you come out even more on top, and you kind of serve to your friends as an example of how to deal with challenges, which is just confronting them head on and navigating through them. Let's see what else we've got. Okay, so we have the return of Aphrodite, as well as the mirror. Okay, so the mirror, this speaks of a heightened sense of self-awareness. I think you guys are pretty self-aware, and that makes sense going back to this new moon in Scorpio, work through your fears, because again, it seems like you guys have done a lot of inner work, and you're very aware of your own limitations, but also how the world sort of reflects those back at you. I think you're also someone who has a good insight about other people as well, because you can see how they project, how their projections reflect onto you and vice versa. Also, you guys are a very good judge of character too. I think what it is you're good at seeing people beyond face value, past the surface level to what it is that they are faced with, what kind of challenges or even insecurities that they are tackling. And then this card, the Return of Aphrodite, I see this as a card of beauty when it comes out. So you could be, your friends could think of you as a very beautiful person, not just physically, but also on the inside. You carry yourself with grace. This is also a very social energy too. So maybe you guys conduct yourselves with a lot of poise, and you can kind of pick up on people's natures. As I said, I think you have a very good insight into how people sort of interact with you, and you kind of play off of that. I think with the mirror, maybe you guys have some strong water, because that's definitely a trait where you reflect what people project onto you back at them, for good or bad, and you kind of show them their own qualities, or maybe you show them what they want to see as well. But definitely with this, I'm getting that you guys conduct yourselves with a lot of grace, and maybe that again comes from the challenges that you faced, or you guys on your journey becoming very resilient and a strong person has been to face life to always look for the silver linings and always choose to move throughout life, but even within social circles, with poise and grace. Okay, and then for your last cards, we have Rooster Mama, as well as the Good Geisha. Okay, so the Good Geisha, this card describes a strong moral character or a moral compass. Honestly, you guys, okay, one of the words that comes to mind is honorable, or that your friends just greatly respect your courage. You have a sense of integrity. They can count on you to be consistent and to be there for them, because you have been through a lot yourself, or because you've undergone a lot of different trials or tests in various arenas of life. Your friends know that you're someone who can be reliable, that you show up. Again, your actions say a lot about you. And you're very much someone who's inclined to doing the right thing, proving yourself worthy of others' respect and time, and also demanding that same kind of treatment in return. You're someone who won't settle. You do have a demanding energy, but rightly so, because you do give a lot. You stand up for your friends. You will sacrifice your time or even your days off, I think, for being there. You're someone who always shows up. And so it's really not a lot to ask, I think. But definitely you have a very good moral character. That's what your friends, that's definitely one of the traits here. And then Rooster Mama she's the eccentric of this deck. She does what she likes. She doesn't really care about what people think. She has a funky style. So again, there's kind of something about you guys. I mean, yes, you're very strong-headed and you're not afraid of saying no if someone is infiltrating your space or trying to get one over on you. You guys won't stand for it. You have boundaries, okay? And also, you're not afraid of calling people out. You have a fierce, very bold energy and way of expressing yourself. And I think that's clear with the rooster mama. Because she doesn't care, she says she's very honest. And I mean, well, that might get her in trouble. The point is, she's not afraid of showing her true colors, being herself, and also supporting those who choose a different path, because she is more on the eclectic side. That's another thing, because with the magician, you guys have a more magical, kind of unexpected streak where, I don't know, I feel like you guys do like taking risks. You like putting yourself out there. I mean, when the time calls for it. But also at the same time, you are someone who conducts themselves very graciously and is very respectful too. But you guys have a very interesting insight into other people. Maybe you guys would make great psychologists. But I think it's clear to your friends that you guys live your lives at your own pace. You don't care about what people say necessarily. Although I think, you know, people usually have very good things to say about you because they get a very strong impression of someone who's determined, who can be reliable, but also has integrity and respect. So the last thing I want to do is roll the astro dice just to see if there's any last minute messages coming through that want to come through. Oh my gosh, guys, we have Aries again. Maybe you are an Aries, because this energy, it's like the rams. It's head first. It's the first sign. Just like the magician is the first card. It's very bold. Aries are risk takers. They are trailblazers. I think your friends definitely, they see you as a fighter. They see you as someone who can withstand and survive a lot, though, as well, who doesn't give up easily, and who also has done a lot of inner work. You know, Saturn isn't the easiest planet. This is a planet of hardship, but also achievements, too. So it is clear to your friends as well that you are close to achieving your goals, or you're well on the way to accomplishing your dreams, your desires in life. And then lastly, the fifth house. This is a very fun house. Actually, it's creative, imaginative. It's also the house that rules love affairs. So maybe you guys, maybe your friends see you as a romantic person, or if it's not that, then very creative, risk-taking. You know, I think you guys, you do like a little bit of danger, but not too much. Not where, because again, you do come off as very committed and stable, at least in the sense of your perseverance, right? But the fifth house definitely indicates that you have a playful side too, which I think is clear with this rooster mama. So I will leave this pile here for now. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a super amazing day. Stay awesome. And I will see you guys later. Hey, pile 2. Welcome to your reading for all of you who chose the red calcite. This is a beauty. Let's see what your friends think of you. Okay, so we have the Seven of Swords, Judgment, Strength, the Four of Pentacles, as well as the Queen of Swords. So I think your friends view you as a very balanced person, actually. You can see how with the Queen of Swords, she's surrounded by these two mountains, and then same thing here in Judgment. We have these two mountains, and then even here in Strength, the two mountains surrounding that tiger. So yeah, I think you guys have a very good balance of traits. You're not on the extreme end of the spectrum, and you're probably a fairly easygoing person. Definitely something that I get is that you're very wise. You might be more mature than your age, or you could be a bit on the older side for your friend group or amongst your friends. Another thing that I am also getting is that you guys are fiercely loyal. Whenever we have strength, but especially in this reading with the tiger, that's a strong symbol of loyalty, commitment. It's also a creature of prosperity, and it has a very strong will. So yeah, your friends, they really do notice that. That's a strong character trait, is your loyalty and your commitment to relationships, to any area of life. You're definitely someone who they trust, and you're very just and fair as well. So you're the type of person, or at least to your friends, who treats everybody with respect, and you would give equal time to all of your friends. Even if you do have a best friend, you will make sure to spend time with all of them, or give them all an equal amount of your time, your energy, just because it's like with this Four of Pentacles, you try to balance everyone, right? Which sometimes maybe is a bit difficult, but I think what it is the ideal or the standard that you try to live up to when it comes to giving everyone a fair shot and making sure that everything is equal. Maybe you're a Libra, or you have some strong air with this Queen of Swords, because I'm definitely getting a more neutral, objective leaning attitude and approach to relationships. You approach people without judgment, from a place of strength. You guys, you could be very confident as well. You have a sure sense of who you are, and, you know, a sense of self as well. Another thing is that maybe it takes a while for you to get to know people, but I don't really see that necessarily on your end, but other people's end, as in them taking a while to open up to you because they're not necessarily sure. They want to take their time in getting to know what you're about and getting to know you and find out what's sort of beneath the surface on their own. So a message here with the Seven of Swords is maybe people don't really believe at face value what they hear about you. And that goes for good and bad things. So, for instance, you know, if someone is talking behind your back or has something to say about you, your friends, right? Especially your friends, but I think people in general know that there's more to it than that, because you're a very complex person. You have a lot of different traits. But also your friends know you to be very loyal, so they would do the same. I think you kind of you inspire a higher level of loyalty and respect out of your relationships than most people. You demand it, and you also give it in return. But I think across the board, people have a high level of trust for you. What keeps coming to mind is maybe a bank. You know how, but I mean a bank that is very trustworthy, that people have trust because it has proven itself time and time again. I think you have a very consistent reputation across all of your relationships. And so people in general know sort of what they can expect from you. But also at the same time that they have to provide that in return if they want to have any kind of relationship or dealing with you. So yeah, let's get into these oracle cards. I could go on and on. There is a lot to say, I think, about you. It must be the Seven of Swords. Maybe people in general or your friends just have a lot to say because there does seem to be quite a bit of different things about you that are very interesting. But also maybe people in general tend to have a lot to say about you. Perhaps you know a lot of people too. Okay, so we have first quarter moon. Your commitment is being tested. Okay. We also have full moon in Aquarius. Show the world the real you. As well as full moon in Aries. A fiery climax approaches. Okay. So, this commitment card, it's clear commitment is a strong word with you guys. Maybe, and that's sort of the impression that I get is maybe when people get to know you, they sort of test that commitment or they take longer with you because they really want to make sure that your reputation or whatever preconceptions that they have of you hold up to the fact, okay? And maybe you're dealing with that currently, where you have certain friends or people who you are getting to know who you're sort of on the verge of those early stages where they, you're trying to get them to open up and also earn that trust through showing them commitment, okay? And then we also have show the world the real you. You guys are very unique. You do have an air of sophistication to you. And I think a lot of people, they know that they have to earn your friendship, that it's not something that is given out freely or given out easily. But I think people ultimately do want to be your friend when they get to know you well enough to know that you are worth your salt. You are someone who has so much to give, who's incredibly open-minded and fair. And I think you also have a very positive and uplifting effect on others when they're around you, especially your friends. They like having you around. They like having your perspective on things, having interesting or even deep discussions about things that you're passionate about. You guys, communication comes naturally to you. It's definitely a medium that you work well with. Maybe you have a lot of connects as well, a lot of different people who you know, or it could seem that way to your friends, like just that you are a good communicator and that you're well acquainted with a lot of people or that you have a larger network as well. And then also this full moon in Aries, a fiery climax approaches. That indicates to me that your friendship life is very active and maybe there is a climax approaching in terms of you guys meeting more people or again having your commitment being tested or having to prove yourself in some way. But I see, the friends that you guys attract are people who would stick with you long term and also who would place a lot of confidence in you. You're someone who inspires that, again, because it's clear you have very good judgment, especially of character. You people know that they can count on you to not make stupid choices, or I don't know, that you are more mature than most people. You have a level of wisdom. Maybe it comes from life experience or just intelligence that puts you on par with people of a higher caliber, and that you have higher standards as well. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, we have receptivity as well as the present. Okay, so receptivity, you guys, you're great receivers of information, of also attracting people, getting others to come to you and open up. But also, you know, it works both ways. It's kind of this flow. There's a free-flowing energy that you have that's so natural, and that has a lot to do with communication, I think. But also, you guys, you do give off a wise emotional maturity, which I think also gets people to trust you and to listen to you. You also, as I said, give off an air of, you know, expecting or demanding respect. So people know not to approach you from a place of trying to screw you over or something like that. But with this card also, you guys you're very sensitive, okay? You could have increased or heightened senses, or also have a connection with animals. Maybe you guys can talk to animals. I just think that flow of receiving, giving, comes naturally to you than to most. Also because you guys are very strong in your sense of self. You have confidence, you have strength, and also because with this full moon in Aquarius, you guys are unabashedly you. You're very clear to people in showing them rather than telling them, this is who I am. You can count on me because of the actions that I take, as opposed to the words that I say, even though what I say is what I do, and vice versa. But yeah. And then we also have the present. So you guys are very alert. You're very much in the now. You're not the type of person who fixates or gets lost in the past or even too much in the future. You remain in the now, and you're very alert and, you know, receptive to what people are telling you. Maybe you're very up to date with information. I really also am getting more of a kind of journalistic vibe to you guys, but in a trustworthy way. I know journalists can be very untrustworthy or shady, but I think with journalism there has to be a certain level of trust and, you know, integrity in the sources and just in the information itself, right? So that is the vibe that I'm getting from you guys, is that more method-based, logical approach that is observant, objective, and neutral, okay? So yeah, it could seem to your friends that you guys have just more access to information, or you're more caught up on what's going on in the present, okay? You guys are very cued into that and in tune with your surroundings, especially. Okay, and then for your final cards, we have, we have the White Duchess as well as the Silver Siren. So this White Duchess actually reminds me a bit of the Queen of Swords. She's a clean slate. She is very innocent as well. But the White Duchess, it's a very fair and simple energy. White, it's a color of wisdom, peace, and serenity. So you guys also give people peace of mind. But I think, like the Queen of Swords, the White Duchess approaches situations and relationships with a very neutral, kind of clean ground. So you don't come off at all as someone who would hold grudges or, who gets fixated on things. You are more objective, you are neutral, and also forgiving too. I think you guys give people a fair shot to prove themselves to you or to gain your respect. And then we also have the Silver Siren. So white and silver, they're very understated colors. They're more modest. So the feeling or the impression that I get of you that is strong with your friends is that you're someone who isn't loud or kind of obnoxious in the way that you express yourself. You tend to hold back more and be more restrained, and you have a sophisticated air. You come across as intelligent and more relaxed, right? Also, approachable. You're someone who people want to get to know. But we do have this word siren, so I think there is something about you that does sort of capture people's attention or imagination, but in a more understated, refined way. And this Aquarian moon, maybe it's otherworldly. Like you guys, you come off definitely to your friends as, you have a very good balance that you have between being supportive, especially emotionally, but also being distant and giving them space, giving them freedom to come to you or to seek you out if they want advice or if they want something, I guess. But yeah, so overall, it's a great balance and I think harmony that you have achieved in the perspective of your friends, but also in how people generally tend to approach you. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is roll the Astro Dice just to see if there's any last minute messages that want to come through on this. Pile 2. Okay, so we have 7th house, Virgo, and Uranus. Ooh, I love Uranus. Uranus is kind of a wild, erratic energy. It kind of fits perfectly though with this Aquarian, because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So yeah, Uranus, you guys are inventive. You're clearly intelligent. I think that's really what this is getting at. And also seeing that we have Virgo too, because Virgo is another sign that's very mental, analytical. Virgo is smart. It's good at analytics, problem solving, and also Virgo, just like this White Duchess, is more understated. It's refined. It's also, it's represented by the Virgin, so it's a more neutral sign. It's not really loud. It tends to be on the shyer side. So maybe that is another trait perhaps that your friends associate you with. They don't think of you as necessarily being very extroverted, but you are clearly gifted with communication and conveying your thoughts. And then lastly, the 7th house. This is the house of relationships. It's the house of the other and reflection. So I think you guys just have a very good sense of self-awareness and how you are perceived in the eyes of others. Also, the 7th house, this is something that you cherish. You put a lot of time, clearly, and effort into your relationships. That's something that you value because you have a high level of commitment. People can trust you. They know you're loyal. So yeah, you're definitely someone who people really respect and value your time and the relationship that they do have with you, okay? So I will leave this pile here for now. I hope this was helpful. If you guys liked it, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a super amazing day. Stay awesome, and I will see you guys later. Hey, pile 3. Welcome to your reading for all of you who chose the copper. Let's see what your friends think of you. Alright, starting off with your tarot, we have the King of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, the Emperor, the Six of Pentacles, as well as the Three of Wands. Ooh, I really like this spread. Oh my gosh. This is a very strong pile. I think what it is this Emperor card that we have smack in the middle, but also paired with this King of Pentacles. It's clear you guys are the one in charge, maybe in your friendship circle or just amongst your friends. You're definitely the dominant personality, or you just come off as being in charge. Even if you're not, you have a very strong willpower. That's clear. For some of your friends, it could be a bit intimidating at times, especially if you are extroverted or you tend to be more expressive and kind of boisterous in your energy. You have a sharp quality. This King of Pentacles is very well put together. So I think definitely you guys make a good impression, all right? Maybe amongst a lot of your friends or people in general, they see you as the perfect person to sort of bring home to mom and dad or to introduce to the rest of their family, because maybe you're attractive. I mean, maybe it's that, or again, you come off as very well put together, well spoken perhaps, or just having a very agreeable personality, okay? You're definitely someone who impresses. Maybe some of your friends are a little jealous of that. But you're also, okay, here's the thing. You're very hardworking and goal-driven. You're probably the person in the friend group who is ambitious or who has a lot of different goals that they're going after, big dreams, okay? But you are very patient and considerate. You guys know how to also go about getting what you want. You have very strong sense of desire and will, as I said. But it's also clear to your friends that you have a strong sense of path, of what your path, where it will lead you, and sort of where you're headed in life. You can kind of see though with these cards how he's looking off to these goals, this tree that is being watered consistently, but also to this Three of Wands, which is the way forward, the stepping stones to success. So maybe your friends, they just think that you're going places. What I keep seeing is the image of a yearbook that says, you know, how there's different categories. You would be most likely to succeed. That's what's coming to my mind. Among your friends, you are most likely to succeed, or you're going places. That's kind of what comes to mind. You could be competitive, maybe with some of your friends a little bit, a little friendly competition. The thing is, as well, with the Emperor, is this is someone on the negative side who can tend towards control or domination. So definitely be aware of that, if especially if you have more sensitive or empathetic friends who would be especially receptive to that. But I mean, aside from those tendencies, a lot of what I'm seeing here is very positive. And also, another thing that it could be is that you guys are very busy or you have a lot going on in your life. You can sort of see here with this figure how she is juggling all of these different things. So maybe your friends are very aware of this and less likely to want to bother you, or maybe you don't meet up with your friends as much as you would because you do have a lot on your plate, or they just get that impression that you're someone who is busy a lot of the time. Maybe you have kids, you are working multiple jobs, or you just are even doing all these different projects. Whatever it is, it does seem very ambitious and busy to your friends. Or just people in general. You give off that vibe as if you're a go-getter, pile 3. You aren't afraid to do multiple things at once if it means getting results, okay? You're someone who wants that money, who, not even money for the sake of money, but more so the glory of achievement. The Emperor is all about that, achieving recognition, fame, glory, all of those good things. And the King of Pentacles is a bit more down to earth and practical. You're definitely someone with foresight. Maybe you have a good sense of business, of math too. I don't know, but you guys seem very good with practical things, logistics. Again, you have a very good sense of direction in life and with where you're headed. Okay, so let's get into these oracle cards. What do we have? Okay, so we have take time to breathe out, as well as a time for healing. Okay. So you guys, you have this big personality or just persona that you give off of this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, or who I'm gonna be. But also at the same time, you guys can be very chill, okay? Maybe you're a bit of a homebody, or you do kind of like, the taking time off. I mean, who doesn't, right? But yeah, you guys, you do give off a chill vibe. You're not stressful considering the amount that you have going on or the amount of different goals that you are dreaming up, right? So again, you're very pleasant to be around, and you have a way of putting people at ease, especially your friends, and kind of calming them down. You can kind of absorb that negative energy. You, in a way, maybe sometimes do act like a sponge. I don't know why, but I feel like you guys, this pile in particular, you guys would be a very good parent, because you sort of, not only do you know what to say to people, but you just have a way of sort of lowering the stress or the excitement in a room. Also encouraging people to let their guard down and even just talk to you, being honest. You do come across as a very honest person, okay? But yeah, that's what I'm getting from these cards. A time for healing. As I said, I think that's the effect that you have on people, is very peaceful. And I could see you guys, your friendship style might not be very frequent. You might not be seeing your friends every day or every week, but you guys perhaps could call them or meet up more so occasionally and have these really long conversations, catching up where you're at in life, but also just putting them at ease, having a relaxing effect on those people, okay? Let's keep going. We also have Concomancy, Seashell Divination, as well as Visions. Ooh, I love this combo, guys. Okay, so Concomancy, that always makes me think of seashells, as in listening to the ocean. So you guys could be very good listeners at listening to people, their problems maybe, giving them wisdom or insight. We also have Vision. You guys, you're very clear-sighted. Maybe you actually have very sharp vision, but you do have a sharp sense of direction, as I said, a vision more in the figurative sense of your life, and especially when it comes to manifestation. But as I mentioned earlier, there's also a strong sense of foresight with you guys. You could be psychic, you could be naturally intuitive and in tuned to what's to come. I think naturally you guys have a knack for picking up on patterns and engaging in divination, whether you're conscious of it or not. Maybe you receive downloads through your dreams. But that's interesting. I think your friends, they know you as someone who has a good insight or a good knowing about things as well. Like maybe there have been times where you told them to not do something because, oh, I have a feeling like this isn't what it seems, or this isn't going to work out. And then you end up being right, or you ended up, it ended up coming true, something like that. But I think your friends know that you have strong instincts and a sense of intuition that they can pick up on and are very keen to listen to. Okay. All right. So for your final cards, we have Gypsy Columbine, as well as Rare, Raw, and Real. Okay, so both of these cards go together. They're related in a lot of different ways. Starting with Gypsy Columbine. Okay, this is a bit of a wild, kind of eccentric energy. She is nomadic. She sort of travels from place to place and never really settles down. Maybe you guys actually have more of that bachelor energy, or, free spirit kind of vibe to you, where you go on adventure after adventure and never really reach that destination, but you're always kind of seeking more in life. You always want something more. There's always something that you're going after. I mean, it could be that you're on the older side maybe and haven't really settled down. But I think your friends, they know you to be a wanderous spirit, someone who is very hard to pin down, and maybe it's that you don't really fit into a conventional lifestyle either, because as I said, she tends to do what she wants regardless. Freedom is the most important thing, I think, when it comes to this card. So that could really be how you live your life and what you cherish the most when it comes to being fulfilled, is having that freedom. And this energy, it's unapologetic. You guys don't care about really being embarrassed or experiencing shame as much as just living in your truth and being who you're meant to be. Okay? And it's the same thing with this card as well. There's something very authentic about you and how you live your life, or even in the actions that you take. It's real, there's nothing about you that gives fake or ingenuine. You guys, You have a very raw way of expressing yourself. As I said earlier, I think you're very honest and upfront about what you're doing. You don't try to hide it or anything. And so this definitely makes sense. But you guys, I would say overall, you have a very adventurous quality to you. But it's nice because it's mixed with this also very chill, grounded sense of taking a time out, being relaxed in your energy and not needing to rush anything, you know, which is very cool. Okay, so the last thing I want to do is roll the astro dice just to see if there's any last minute messages that want to come through on this for you guys. Okay, so we have the Sun, the 6th house, and Capricorn. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Honestly, you might be a Capricorn, but the strong astrological energies that were coming through were definitely fire and earth with all the pentacles. So you could be a fire sign or an earth sign. Capricorn is definitely that business CEO kind of energy that we were getting earlier with the King of Pentacles. It's very much based on achievement, very goal driven, of course. Capricorn tends to be a more serious sign, but it's very practical and earthy. And I think it as well tends to give good advice. You guys are clearly very wise and very genuine as well. And then the Sun, yeah, okay, so the Sun, this is that strong energy we're talking about. You guys, you know, sometimes it can be a bit overbearing if you are having those tendencies towards wanting to dominate or control your situation or those around you. But the Sun is very vibrant. You guys, you live in a very authentic space. You're very true to yourself and your passions, you know, your fire, that inner sense of wonder and excitement that drives you. And then lastly, the 6th house. This is the house of the everyday. That's so funny that we got the 6 of Pentacles earlier, because that kind of reminds me of this in the way of sort of, and also that 7 of Pentacles, of the everyday, you know, patience that you have for putting in work, putting in your time and your energy. You are a very hardworking person, that's clear. And you gain a lot of respect, especially from your friends, because you're so persevering and, you know, you have a determination like no other. It's bordering on stubbornness at times, but, you know, you're someone who people can't convince you of anything. You have to make these decisions for yourself, even if that means failing or, you know, taking a misstep from time to time. But that is, you know, that's one of those golden traits that I think people really see in you, is that you're someone who doesn't give up though and follows their path no matter what. All right. And also, again, just the busyness, maybe that is definitely a theme in your friendships, is sort of balancing that dynamic between everything that you have going on with, you know, being there and being able to support those who you care about. But yeah, very cool. I will leave this pile here for now. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a super amazing day. Stay awesome, and I will see you guys later. Hey, Pile 4, welcome to your reading for all of you who chose the clear quartz point. our little wand. Let's see what your friends think of you. Okay, starting off with your tarot, we have the Eight of Swords, the Two of Wands, the King of Wands, the Knight of Cups, as well as the Four of Cups. Okay. Very interesting. There's definitely some mixed signals or vibes that I am picking up on from these cards. Okay, so the first thing I want to say with this King of Wands is that this is a very magnanimous energy. You guys have a presence. You can see how his wand is very bright and there's sort of a light that's emanating out of it. So I can already tell, you know, you guys, maybe it's your personality. It could be very bubbly or just contagious. But then again, I'm not necessarily getting that you guys are the most extroverted people though, because we have this Eight of Swords, which as you can see is more guarded and sort of trapped in her head. So maybe what it is that you have a hard time seeing how other people truly perceive you, or there could be a sort of disjunction between what you think others think of you as opposed to the reality. Okay? Yeah, especially when you guys do spend too much time in your mind or sort of get trapped or lost in it, that can be when things sort of take a turn, right? But yeah, maybe it just comes off to your friends as you overthinking or even doubting yourself at times, or even worrying a lot. The thing to remember with this Eight of Swords is that what's keeping her tied up and blindfolded is herself. So oftentimes it does represent ways that we limit ourselves, whether that is through beliefs or certain habits, especially mentally, okay? But another message that is coming through is that you guys are enlightened, especially spiritually. Maybe you guys have a strong sense of spirituality or just an artistic quality. That's kind of also what I'm seeing here with the King of Wands. But what's interesting is that we have this strong energy here. We have some wands, and then we also have some cups, which are more sort of laid back and relaxed. Okay, so there's a lot of different things that are giving mixed signals. Maybe you have, okay, what it could be is that you come across in these different ways when you're around different friends, okay? So that is normal. We all have different friends for different kind of purposes, or, you know, in different settings we can sort of alter depending on who we're around. So that could be what is going on here. But what is funny, I think, is you, okay? I think you guys have a strong sense of humor or wit about you that is common amongst all of your friendships, and that's definitely contagious too. The thing is, you are a very likable person, whether you realize it or not. You have a strong energy. Even if you're not the most extroverted at the party, you still have an air when you walk in a room. People, maybe they notice you. You could catch their attention, or there could be something about you that looks very memorable. Or it could just be your personality. But I think there is something as well that you restrain or you hold back a bit. Maybe you hold back a bit of your personality. But your friends sort of, they like to encourage you to either get out there more or to sort of express yourself more fully, okay? Because you have this King of Wands inside of you, which is a very strong, very passionate, fiery energy. Maybe you're a more kind of introverted fire sign or air sign. We also have some strong water here as well. What I think this is about is that more spiritual side to you. And as I said earlier, I think you guys are enlightened when it comes to your connection with spirit, especially. You guys, you have a connection to higher realms. Maybe you're more in tune with your spirit guides or even nature too. It could also be a strong connection that you have to wildlife or spending time outside too. Okay, let's get into some oracle cards for you. So we have, so we have super moon, emotions are running high, as well as what do you need to release, waning moon. Okay, this is interesting. The fact that we have both of these together, this is really talking about something needing to be released, I think. Maybe it goes back to this Eight of Swords and you guys having self-limiting beliefs or even kind of self-destructive tendencies when you're afraid of what others are thinking, or you're not completely, you're holding a part of yourself back. Maybe that could be it. But I think you guys have strong emotions. You have a strong personality that maybe you guys just aren't really aware of. It's kind of like a child in an adult or superhuman body, right? That isn't really aware of their strength or their power. But just like that King of Wands and that light, the supermoon, that is so bright. You guys have a bigger than life presence to you, an energy that almost wants to escape, that wants to get out of you and, to be seen. The thing is, though, I also think, though, with people who actually know you quite well and with a lot of your friends, they really see this side of you a lot more. And I think that is what they appreciate most about you, is that spirit that you have. The thing is, you guys come across more so as a dreamer, someone who has a big imagination, who sometimes runs away with the fairies, or who isn't really as much in touch with what's going on around them or even their reality. But also at the same time, maybe it's not you, but things just happen to you. Especially with this Two of Wands, maybe it's just that sometimes your life is a bit of a roller coaster, or you have things just, maybe it's bad luck or even good luck, but things are more likely to happen to you for some reason. And going off of that sense of humor that you have, I think another talent that you have a penchant for is storytelling or, sharing your experiences, because I think you definitely have a lot of very interesting stories to tell, especially funny ones. But I think you guys, you come across to your friends as very adventurous, having a strong spiritual side as well, in addition to this gorgeous personality. Again, I do think you guys are very creative, or you have an artistic kind of flair. Maybe you have very good taste, but I could definitely see you guys being talented in one or multiple of the arts. So let's keep going. This is a fun pile, though. I think, people like being around you, and because your energy it's cute because it's contagious and it's bubbly, it's exciting, but also, you hold back a little bit. Maybe you have a bit of a shy timidity, which, is cute and approachable to people. I think you're someone who is very relatable. And I think more often than not, people do see themselves in you or see a side of you that they find just to be very funny or kind of comical, So whether it's you telling jokes or being the joke, there is still this kind of magic that you have in, being personable to people and kind of opening up. It's very beautiful when you guys are opening up and when you are in your element. Okay, so we have Divination as well as Soul Cage. Okay, so yeah, Divination. It says prophecy, fate, destiny, future fortune. Yeah, so you're definitely someone who has tended to be more connected with your spiritual side, your angels. I think because you spend more time in your head or thinking about things, you often pick up on messages that other people might not notice or pay attention to. And I think that makes you very observant. You guys are naturally very gifted at picking up on human nature and seeing sort of how people operate. But also getting downloads too, getting future insights, even from your higher self. You can kind of see here too with the Four of Cups how there's this one cup that's floating above her. And I mean, even though symbolically this card represents always being in a state of wishful thinking or wishing for what you don't have that's in front of you, I think this card also represents a state of rest and the imagination, being constantly dreaming or dreaming for bigger, better possibilities. And then we also have this Soul Cage card. Okay, so this is pretty similar to this Eight of Swords that we were talking about earlier. Because again, this sort of deals with restriction. I think there is something that is holding you back. Maybe, I mean, I don't know what it is specifically, but I think it does have to do with sort of dimming your light or being sort of afraid of other people or what they might think of you being your true self or really expressing this King of Wands in his full power. Something about that might make you uncomfortable, and that could be your journey in this life. That could be a part of your soul mission. Okay? But yeah, I think to your friends though, again, these kinds of traits though that have to do with your imagination, the ways that you are inspiring, and I think this pile is very selfless as well. Sometimes to the point of, where your friends might even think, okay, like, you should draw the boundary here, or, kind of rethink that. That could be another sort of trait that gets you into trouble at times when you're overly giving of yourself or you don't know when to draw that boundary in the sand. Maybe a lot of your friends or the people who you attract as well tend to have higher emotions or be more connected to that lunar energy, as in motherly, or almost wanting to sort of save you or rescue you, pull you out of that cage and get you to open up, right? And I know this is a general reading and I am describing that in a general sense, but there is something very beautiful about you guys that your friends are very in tune with, which is that butterfly effect. And whenever you do kind of, get out of your cocoon or even get an insight into yourself that lights you up, just how beautiful it is, and also how that kind of rubs off on other people too. I think you have a very gentle quality about you. Okay, let's keep going. So for your last cards, we have Date with Destiny, as well as Sacred Fool. Ooh, okay. Sacred Fool. The Fool is the baby. He is the first card on the hero's journey. I think you guys are more connected with your inner child than most people. Maybe you are a younger soul, or this could be one of your first lives here on this earth, but there is something about you guys that is just waiting to get out and kind of run wild in the world and adventure off and kind of find itself. But maybe that's what it is about you that your friends really appreciate, is that you guys are so much fun. You really, not only do you lighten up the atmosphere, the energy, but you kind of make them laugh. You make them feel very excited when maybe they wouldn't be. And you're kind of the wild one in the friend group, the person who might be a bit erratic, but have some energy that comes out of nowhere. And that's a very driving force. Okay. And then we also have Date with Destiny. So, okay, you guys are a very special person. I think a lot of your friends sort of get the sense that they crossed paths with you for a reason, and that maybe there is some kind of fated meaning behind that, and for you being in their life. But I am definitely picking up on that, because this card, whenever it comes out, it represents some kind of fated or divine meeting between two parties, or just meeting with fate in a way. It could also be that maybe, some of your friends who you are very close to, you had like a brush with death, or you had some kind of experience that really bonded you together for life. It could also be something like that. I know that sounds very drastic. It doesn't have to be that. But I think most of your friends do feel on a psychic level that you're in their life for a reason, or they met you, they crossed paths with you for a specific purpose, and that you're someone who has a very specific divine mission. So yeah. The last thing I want to do is roll the astro dice just to see if there's any last minute messages that want to come through on what your friends think of you. Pile 4. Ooh, okay, so we have Uranus, yep, Uranus, Cancer, and 8th house. Beautiful. I love Cancer. This is a very soft energy, and it's kind of what we were talking about, kind of getting out of your shell. Cancer, maybe you are a Cancer or a water sign. We do have some strong water energy here as well. And then similar to the 8th house, this house represents hidden things. So yeah, I think you guys, you're very in tune psychically on a certain level. You have a strong spiritual side to you that your friends clearly know. And I don't know, maybe also some of your friends as well are kind of protective of you, because you do have that very kind of innocent, very sweet energy too. It's kind of like with the Uranus planet, it's about being wild. Uranus is the planet of rebellion and also genius, like rethinking things. So I think, again, you guys, you dream of possibilities. You are someone who's very creative and imaginative. You have very kind of wondrous fantasies maybe, or dreams of possibilities in life. But overall, yeah, I would say your friends, they see a lot of magic, potential, and passion, a lot of spirit, fire spirit deep within you. And they know that you're a very special person for sure. So I will leave this pile here for now. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, feel free to give this video a thumbs up, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a super amazing day. Stay awesome, and I will see you guys later.